Apologies for the delay.
No problem at all. Will your witness be affirming or swearing?
I must ask the captain. It's Captain Mkhatshwa.
Captain Mkhatshwa. Captain Mkhatshwa. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yes. Will you be swearing or affirming?
Take the oath.
Thank you. Do you swear that the evidence you're going to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? If so, raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you. Thank you, Captain.
Chair, just some housekeeping. Captain Mkhatshwa today is here with the ballistics files for both the Vereeniging and the Bramley cases. And in order to prevent having to pass folders around, we thought what we would do is we would print out extracts. And there should be, before each of the commissioners, a bundle with additional documents which are extracted from those ballistics files. They run from MQM4 to MQM 11, I think, MQM 11, and they are handwritten, paginated, pages 29 to 53, and they follow on the pagination in the annexure file for Captain Mkhatshwa.
I do have a folder with that. I do see that my co-commissioners also have folders. I trust that the content is the same.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Captain. And Captain, you should have in front of you an annexure file and also your witness statement. Do you have both?
Yes, I do have.
Thank you. Captain, can you tell the Commission what your rank and position is inside the SAPS?
I am a captain and I am a senior forensic analyst at Forensic Science Laboratory in Silverton.
And can you explain to the Chair your relationship to the Political Killings Task Team?
I was deployed in KZN to work with the Political Killings Task Team in 2019 February. I work under the commandership of General Kumalo. And I was working with Mitsu as a tag jock.
And what work did you perform in that capacity?
Commissioners, what we were doing there, we were attending crime scenes and crime vehicle identification, and we were also doing linking of cases, and again we were doing let me put it like this, we were also examining homemade devices, and we were also doing etching for the firearms that had the serial numbers removed. So those are some of the duties that I was doing there.
And if we go to paragraph 4 of your statement, can you explain to the Commission or describe to the Commission your broader history inside the SAPS and your career progression?
In 2002, I was employed as a data typist working at Midrand Police Station. And in 2004, I was employed in correctional service as correctional officer grade 2. Then in 2008, I was appointed as an assistant forensic analyst at the rank of sergeant in Silverton. In In 2010, I was promoted to become a warrant officer as a forensic analyst. And in 2013, I was promoted to the rank of captain as a senior forensic analyst. And that is the position that I am holding up until today.
Thank you, Captain. We have in the annexure file a report that you've prepared. It's annexure MQM3 at page 18. We'll discuss the conclusions that you reached at a later stage, but for present purposes, can I ask you to go to paragraph 2 of that report, page 18, and just tell the Commission about your academic qualifications?
I am having a BA Honours degree in criminology from the University of South Africa that I obtained in 2018. I also have a BA degree in criminology from the University of the North, now University of Limpopo, in 1996. And I obtained a higher education diploma from the University of the North in 1997. I also obtained a certificate in security practice from the University of South Africa in 2013. I obtained a certificate in corporate forensic investigation from Dunedin in 2012. Those are my academic qualifications.
And how many cases have you examined? How many forensic investigations into cases have you undertaken?
Up to so far, I've examined more than 4,500 cases.
Now, in paragraph 2.3 of that report, you list a long list of courses in the in-service training of the SAPS and related policing agencies. I don't want you to go through all of them, we'll be here until after lunch, but can you just confirm that you have completed all of those courses that you list in paragraph 2.3?
That is correct, Commissioners. Those are the in-service trainings that I have received at Forensic Science Laboratory in Pretoria.
And can you confirm that you have been declared competent and proficient in forensics ballistics examination?
I confirm, Commissioners.
Thank you, Captain Mkhatshwa. If you can then go back to your main statement in paragraph 5. And can you briefly explain what the role of forensic analysts is to the Commission?
Forensic analyst, ballistics specifically, our duties Commissioners, is to identify ammunitions, firearms, and fired cartridge cases. We also identify firearms, we examine firearm mechanisms, and we examine homemade, as I've already stated. We recover and restore alphanumeric figures on metals, on firearms or tools where the number has been, or serial number has been obliterated. We also determined the distance at which in a crime scene where the shooter was, and we also do crime scene investigation, and we also document the results. These are the roles of a ballistics analyst, Commissioners.
Thank you, Captain. And Captain, you've brought with you today the Bramley and Vereniging ballistics files.
That's correct, Commissioners.
Can you just identify which is the Bramley file? Do you have them in front of you?
This one is a Bramley file, Commissioners.
And the Vereniging file?
And this one is a Vereniging file.
Now, we've extracted certain or not extracted, we've copied certain documents from that file, and I'm going to ask you now just to identify them from the annexures. So if we go to the annexure file, page 29, can you confirm that this is a report in the name of Warrant Officer Mkhatshwa, dated 14 October 2024, and that it is to be found in the Bramley forensics file?
I confirm, Commissioner.
And can you confirm that this is the report that links the bullets extracted from the body of Mr. Swart to the AK-47 seized at Vereeniging?
I confirm, Commissioners.
Then if we go to page 34 and annexure MQM5, can you confirm that this is the evidence bag, now unsealed, that is still stapled into the Bramley file with the number P4B 000208366?
I confirm, Commissioner.
Then, if we go to page 36, annexure MQM6, can you confirm that this document is the version of the report of Warrant Officer Mkhatshwa, dated 24 May 2024, that one currently finds in the Bramley forensics file?
I confirm, Commissioners.
Then if we go to page 44, annexure MQM7, can you confirm that this is the review report? Well, sorry, that on page 48 we see the review report of the reviewer who reviewed Captain Mkhatshwa's report on the 24th of June, sorry, on the 6th of June 2024 in the Bramley file.
I confirm, Commissioner.
And if we go to page 49...
Advocate Justin, because as I understand, there were 3 such reports, so this review relates to the first.
It would be the first report. MQM, and if we get MQM8 on page 49 running over to page 50, can you confirm that what we see at page 50 is the same reviewer's report, not the same report, but the report of the same reviewer of Captain Mkhatshwa's first report, but this time it's in the Vereeniging case file?
That's correct. I confirm, Commissioner.
And the date is similarly 6 June 2024.
That's correct.
You say MQM8 is the same reviewer
It is.
as MQM7.
Indeed, it's Lieutenant Colonel Monakali who did both reports. And as we'll explain later, if one looks at page 48,
Yes.
the Lieutenant Colonel didn't accept the report of Captain Mkhatshwa, but didn't put her comments in on this form because she cross-referred to her comments on the Vereeniging form.
Yes. Okay.
Then on page 51, MQM9, can you confirm that this is the now unsealed evidence bag PA 600-450-9202 that is now to be found in the Bramley file?
Yes, I confirm, Commissioners.
It's an evidence bag that originated from the Vereniging investigation, but as we stand today, it's to be found in the Bramley file.
That's correct, Commissioner.
And of course, it has been opened, it's no longer sealed. Then MQM 10 on page 52, can you confirm that this is an opened evidence bag, a now opened evidence bag, number PA 5500103539, that is to be found today in the Vereniging file?
I confirm, Commissioners.
And finally, MQM 11 on page 53, can you confirm that these are Captain Mkhatshwa's working notes dated 9 May 2024 that are to be found in the Bramley file?
That's correct, I confirm.
Thank you, Captain. If we can go back to your statement now, you say in paragraph 6 that you received a written request on 3 June to conduct a comparative ballistic examination in the Bramley matter against certain case dockets. Now, before we get to what they any further, I must place on record, as you see on the version of the statement that's being displayed on both screens, some of these cases are have to be redacted. So we will refer to the case in, if Bramley would be the first case, we'll refer to the case under 6.1 as case 2. The Littleton and Pretoria West cases are cases in which have already gone to court. So we can refer to them by name. We'll refer to the case in paragraph 6.4 as case 5, and the case in paragraph 6.5 as case 6. And I'd ask you not to mention cases 2, 5, and 6. So we'll just refer to them as cases 2, 5, and 6.
Senior Counsel, can you maybe repeat that one?
So the ones that we can mention, 6.1 will be case 2. We can't mention it.
Okay.
6.2, the Littleton case, we can mention. 6.3, the Pretoria West case, which I think was another DJ Vettis, if I'm correct, we can mention. 6.4 will be case 5, we can't mention it. And 6.6 will be case 6, we also can't mention that one. To begin with, can you confirm that you received this instruction to compare the ballistics exhibits from Bramley against those 5 cases?
That's correct, Commissioner.
And when did you receive that request?
I received it on the 3rd of June, 2025.
And if we go to paragraph 9, we'll see that you record that by the time you were asked to do these case comparisons, Captain Mkhatshwa had already conducted the functional testing and test firing of the firearms and had produced a report in May with certain errors which were then corrected in October. And you refer to those 2 reports as annexes MQM1 and MQM2. I'd like us to look at those 2 reports, and if we can, before we look at those 2 reports, can we look at the 3rd report that Captain Mkhatshwa produced, which was the report about the bullet that was extracted from the body of the deceased in the Vereniging case. And that is MQM4 on paragraph 29. Sorry, page 29 of the annexure bundle. Do you have it?
Yes, I got it.
And if we can start at the foot of page 30, paragraph 3, where Captain Mkhatshwa says, on 14 October 2024, during the performance of my official duties, I received an intact sealed evidence bag, gives the number, from Case Administration of Ballistics. I opened the bag and found the following exhibits, 3.1 and 3.2. What would 3.1 and 3.2 have been?
3.1, it's a 7.62 fired bullet that was marked by B1. And the 3.2, it's a 7.62 caliber bullet core. Bullet core is, in a bullet, there is a lead inside the bullet, or there is steel that is covered by copper. We call it a core.
And from the exhibit numbers of that fired bullet and the fired bullet core, can you tell whether this was a test bullet or a bullet retrieved from a crime scene?
These are bullets that were retrieved from the crime scene, either from the postmortem or from the crime scene.
In fact, the evidence in this case will be that it was from the postmortem. So this was a bullet recovered from the body of the deceased. Then if we look at paragraph 4.12, what does Captain Mkhatshwa refer to there?
These are the tests that Captain Mkhatshwa made when he test fired the AK-47 that he received.
And the test bullets, 363 TB1 and 363 TB2, are those test bullets that you have previously examined?
Yes, these are test bullets that I also used to check as to whether it's positive with one of the cases that I've done.
And from which firearm do those test bullets come?
They come from a Russian-made AK-47.
And in which case was that AK-47 seized?
It's a Bramley case 149.
And then can you explain to the Commission what the conclusion reached by Captain Mkhatshwa in paragraph 6.1 is?
Captain Mkhatshwa is saying that the bullet mentioned in 3.1.
And which was that bullet?
The bullet mentioned in 3.1, it's a 7.62 bullet. That is it's an AK bullet, but it's the one that was recovered from the scene or from the postmortem. It's positive with the firearm that he has examined. And this, it's because he has compared that bullet with the tests that he has discharged from that firearm.
So the AK-47 seized in Bramley has been linked to the bullet extracted from the body of the victim at Vereeniging.
That's correct, Commissioners.
If we can then go back to Captain Mkhatshwa's previous or first report, which is MQM1, which we see from page 1 of the annexure file. And I want to take you to a series of what I'm going to put to you are errors in that report. If you can go to page 4, paragraph 4.
It's page 3, paragraph 4.
Page 3 of the report, but I'm looking at the pagination in the file. So the number in the top right-hand corner.
Oh, that's
Okay, you've got the same pagination as me. So page 4, top right-hand corner, page 3 of the report.
I see.
Paragraph 4, the captain says, on 24 May 2024, during the performance of my official duties, I received an intact sealed evidence bag with number, and he gives the number, P4B 000208366, marked inter alia Bramley CAS 140/04/2024. Can we go to MQM5 on page 34?
Page 30.
34, top right-hand corner, 34.
Okay, I'm there.
At the bottom left of the, one sees the evidence bag number P4B 000208366 on the left-hand, bottom left. What is the Bramley case number that's marked on this bag?
It's 149/4/2024.
And if you turn over the page, what are we looking at on page 35?
It's the same bag.
It's the same bag, and what's the case number marked there?
It's 149/4/2024.
So the reference to 140/04/2024 in paragraph 4 is an error.
Yeah, the reference I think is incorrect there.
What should it have been?
It's not, it was supposed to be 149/04/2024.
And this bag that we see is the bag that is in MQM5. That's the bag that is in that Bramley forensics file.
That's correct, Commissioner.
Mr. Chaskalson, how do we know that?
We can show you the forensics file if you would like. Can you take the forensics file to the commissioners and just show them that bag?
Thank you, Captain.
Sorry, Commissioner, I'm not sure if you saw both sides of the bag because
He showed us both sides, yes.
and maybe to avoid this happening a dozen times, maybe we should go through each of those exhibits now. Would that make sense? Sorry, Captain, can you bring both files back with you to the commissioners, and let's go to can you show the commissioners in the Bramley file first, which is going to be MQM6, the copy of the 24 May report that's in the file now? Captain Mkhatshwa's first report, or ostensibly first report.
MQM6 is at what page of what we got from the folder? 36, I'm sorry. 36, thank you.
And the first report. And for present purposes, I think the only important page of that first report to show to the commissioners is page 3 of that report, which corresponds to page 38 of the... No, it won't be written MQM because that's your file. It's Three of eight, indeed. And paragraph 4 of that report should have the case number 149, not 140. Paragraph 4. Is that... or above 4.1, to the top part of paragraph 4. Then, Captain, can you show the commissioners the review report of the very first review report in the Bramley file?
It's our page 44.
That's correct, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Then, Captain, still in the Bramley file, can you show the commissioners the bag, the evidence bag PA 600 4509 202? I think it's 600 4509 202. And that's MQM 9, page 51. And lastly, in the Bramley file, can you show the commissioners Captain Mkhatshwa's working notes? And those will be MQM 11, page 53. Then if you can go to the Vereniging file and first show the commissioners the review report in the Vereniging file. First review report. And that would be MQM 8 at page 48. First answer, the first page of the notes, and not the notes, the first page of the log, and then the review report behind it, I think. And then, lastly, in that file, the evidence bag 5500103539, ending the evidence bag ending 3539. And that would be MQM 10 at page 52. Thanks, Captain. I think we've been through all of them.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson.
So, to get back to the errors, the first is the incorrect reference to the case number in paragraph 4. Then if you turn the page, so it's page 5, and one looks at paragraph 4.30, the captain refers to 17.62 times 39 caliber cartridge case. But in paragraph 6 on the same page, he said, I examined the cartridges, not cartridge cases, mentioned in 4.12 and 4.13, and found that they consist of a primer cartridge case, bullet and propellant that were designed and manufactured to be fired by a centerfire firearm. What should paragraph 4.13 have referred to?
4.13, it was supposed to refer to a cartridge, not a cartridge case, because paragraph 6 is talking about examining the cartridges.
If we can then go to page 7 and paragraph 10.2, and there the report says the cartridge cases mentioned in 3.4 were fired in the firearm mentioned in 4.1. If we go to 3.4, which is on page 4, what is he describing?
Can you repeat, Senior Counsel?
What was the captain describing in paragraph 3.4 on page 4?
He is describing the bullet cores, as I've explained in the first, what is a core. But these cores are of 7.62, which means it's of AK-47 type.
And so when he refers to cartridge cases in 10.2, that's an error.
That's an error.
And he refers to the bullet cores again in paragraph 10.6. He says the bullet cores mentioned in 3.4 are not suitable for microscopic comparison due to damage. So on the basis of that conclusion, it would not be possible to reach the conclusion in 10.2 that the cartridge cases mentioned in 3.4 were fired in the firearm mentioned in 4.1.
Yes, that one is a correct one, Commissioners, that these cores, because they are damaged, they don't have grooves or lens that we can use to do a comparison.
So 10.2 is a mistake?
Yeah, 10.2 is a mistake.
If we go to the case notes of Captain Mkhatshwa, which is MQM 11 on page 53, and you see can you read for the commissioners the conclusion in relation to the cartridges AA3A to AA330. It's essentially the second paragraph of those notes.
Captain Mkhatshwa said C/Cs, which means it's cartridge cases. It refers to cartridge cases that were marked 3045/24, 883A, 2, that he put a dash there, 883O. So if you count from A to O, it's 15 cartridge cases are positive to the test. That is 363 TC1 and 363 TC2. And he has made it positive because he looked at the ejector and the firing pin.
If we go back to the report on page 5, and we go to paragraph 4.9, those cartridge cases marked AA3A to AA30 are the 15 cartridge cases referred to in paragraph 4.9.
That's correct, Commissioner.
So when we look at the report at 10.2, the reference to 3.4 should have been a reference to 4.9.
That's correct, Commissioner.
If I can take you further down the report to paragraph 13, still on that same page of page 7, starting at 13.2, there are a reference to a series of dates, 24 March in 13.2, 13.3, then over the page 13.4, 13.5, 13.6. Those references to March must also be an error because the captain only received this evidence bag on the 24th of May. So it should be May, not March.
That's correct, Commissioners.
Can we then go to page 6, paragraph 7.2. And there the captain says, ammunition used for test purposes was marked as 363 TC1 and 363 TC2 on the cartridge cases, and 363 TB1 and 363 TB2 on the bullets, and was fired in the pistol mentioned in 4.1. If we go back to 4.1, what firearm is he referring to in 4.1?
It's a rifle. It's a 7.62 by 39, a Russian AK-47.
And is that a pistol?
It's a rifle. It's not a pistol.
So 7.2 is also an error. It should say rifle.
I think it's an error.
Can I take you then to another problem with 7.6, 7.2? If we look at your report, MQM3, and we go to page 22, and we go first to paragraph 4.6, you record, well, let's start at 4.1. At 4.1, this is when you were asked to do comparisons involving the same AK-47.
Yeah, that's correct, but using the tests.
But using the tests that had been created by Capt Mkhatshwa.
That's correct.
So in 4.1, in one of the evidence bags, there was a test-fired cartridge case marked 363 TC1. And in 4.6, in another evidence bag, there were two more test-fired cartridge cases marked 363 TC2 and 363 TC3.
That's correct, Commissioner.
So there were 3 test cartridges that Capt Mkhatshwa must have fired.
Yes, it looks like he has made 3 tests. Because that is what I got from the seal bag.
Look at 4.12 as well over the page on 23. It says 3 7.62 caliber test-fired bullets marked 363 TB1, 363 TB2, and 363 TB3.
That's correct.
And that's consistent with what you've just said, that there would have been 3 test firings that he made.
Yes, because there's 3 tests for cartridge cases and 3 tests for bullets.
If we then go to the review report, which is MQM7, we see that when Captain Mkhatshwa first produced his report, the reviewer would not sign off on it. She said no at page 48.
Yes, the reviewer said no, C lab number.
C lab number, and that's the reference to the Vereniging case file. And if we go 2 pages down to MQM 8, page 50, the reviewer says, bag in paragraph 4.2 incorrect and paragraph 3. So if we go to first paragraph 3, the bag referred to there in the report that we have at page 3 is PA 5500103539. But we know that that number is actually the correct number because we've checked it, and that is MQM7 at page 45. So he did correct that error in his original report before he signed the one that we see at MQM1.
That's correct.
And, sorry, it's not page 45 at MQM7, it's page 51 at page 51 MQM9 is the bag that matches that number. And likewise, at page 52 MQM10, we have the bag PA 5500103539, which is the correct bag that is mentioned in paragraph, sorry, I've got the numbers wrong. The bag in MQM9 is the right bag for paragraph 4.2. The bag at MQM10 is the right bag for paragraph 3. So those 2 errors were corrected in his report.
That's correct.
Can I ask, in terms of protocols, when the reviewer says no, should there not be evidence of a follow-up review to check that the errors identified have been corrected?
When the reviewer said no, see paragraph so and so, it means that you have to go and rectify the mistake on that paragraph. And when you are done, you have to take the case file back to the reviewer so that the reviewer can check as to whether what she requested that you must do, you have done it. And that's why there it looks like there's a second reviewer.
So, sorry, I think you may be referring to page 48. When, yeah, if we have page 48 up.
Yes.
At the foot of the page, the form has section E, second round of case review, case file passed, second review. Yeah. And in this case, those blocks are all left blank.
Yes, it's blank.
So if you fail first review, in the ordinary course of events, are you expected to bring it back for the reviewer to confirm that you have now passed second review?
Yes, the case is now cleared.
And in this case, it seems that the report was released without the reviewer certifying that it had passed second review.
That's correct.
But in actual fact, she would have certified that she probably would have certified that it had passed second review because the mistakes that she identified were corrected.
Yes. Another thing, I really don't know. Maybe he might have corrected the mistake and sent it back to the reviewer, but the reviewer didn't complete this part.
Can I ask, in terms of review, there are, if one looks at the form on page 50, the functions that the reviewer is supposed to perform are set out Section A, Section B, Section C. So the reviewer is supposed to check, do the case details on A, B, C, D, and front page of the case file correspond?
Yes.
What are A, B, C, D?
A, B, C, D, this file has 4 sides. This one is A, and this one is B, this one is C, and this one is D.
And where does the report of Captain Mkhatshwa sit in terms of A, B, C, D?
In terms of the reviewer here, I see it has ticked yes.
It's a different question. Sorry, Captain. Where would one find the ballistics reports in a case file? Would it be Section A, Section B?
It will be Section A.
Section A.
Yes.
So the case details that are mentioned in the report would be case details in Section A.
That's correct.
And the reviewer is supposed to check, do they correspond to the case details in Section B, C, and D?
That's correct, Commissioner.
She says yes in this case, but in fact, in one important respect, they do not.
Yes. Actually, it was not supposed to be yes there.
It should have been a no there.
Yes.
Then on the third line, do the dates on A and C correspond? What is C?
C is the chain.
Is the chain of custody?
Yes. That you receive this at this bag, you have sent it to IBs, and then you have closed it on this seal bag. But that part, it's also having a part for the review at the back.
Right.
Yes.
But there is a problem with the dates in A. The dates in A do not correspond in all respects with C because there are all of those references to March, which were before the chain of custody even started.
Yeah, that's correct.
So this should also have been ticked no.
Yes.
Then if we go to Section C of this report, of this sheet, do the findings on the worksheet correspond with those on the case file report?
No.
They don't, because as you've pointed out, the worksheet linked the 15 AK-47 cartridges to the AK-47, but because of that error in 10.2,
That's correct.
it wasn't there. So that should also have been marked no. So the reviewer, in fact, marked 3 yeses where she should have marked no.
Yeah, that's correct.
If we then go to the second report, which starts at page 10 of your case file, sorry, your annexure file.
Page?
Page 10 of your annexure file, MQM2.
Oh, yes.
So that is the second report. If we go to page 4, we see that that first error of the date, of the case number, Bramley case 140/04.
I think Seneca is page 12.
Page 12, I apologize, yes. That second error has not been corrected in the second report.
That's correct.
If we go to page 13, paragraph 4.13, we see that the error in relation to the description of a cartridge as a cartridge case was not corrected in the report, but we've seen from the supplementary report that we addressed with Brigadier Mkhatshwa yesterday that there was a supplementary that identified this error, said it was an error and corrected it.
That's correct, but I have not seen the supplementary, but...
You haven't seen the supplementary?
No. I've never seen it, but I think it's in this case file.
It's in?
I think it's in one of these case files.
It would be in the Bramley case file.
Okay.
But in any event, we saw it from Brigadier Mkhatshwa yesterday in the non-conformance report.
Brigadier Mkhabela, yes.
Sorry, Brigadier Mkhabela, sorry. So that was corrected. If we go to 10.2 on page 15, the reference to 4.9 was put in. So the original mistaken reference to 3.4 or erroneous reference to 3.4 was replaced with the correct reference to 4.9. So that was corrected.
Yeah, corrected.
If we look at the dates in paragraph 13.2 onwards, we see there still are these references to March, so that hasn't been corrected.
Not corrected, yes.
And if we go back to page 14 and 7.2, we see that instead of referring to a rifle in 7.2, it still refers to a pistol, and the test ammunition still only refers to 2 test cartridges and 2 test bullets, not 3.
That's correct.
If we go to page 16 and we look at the date of the second report, we see a new problem, which is the second report is dated 22 May 2024. But it had to have been, the affidavit had to have been signed at a later date than 24 May 2024. Because, well, for one thing, the review of the very first version of the document only took place on the 6th of June, we saw from that review report.
Yeah, correct. The date was supposed to be different.
Can I ask you, is it common practice, if one looks at the change that was made in 10.2, to make a change as it were, to put in a replacement page, as opposed to just filing a supplementary that identifies the error and corrects it?
Commissioners, I think the procedure is that you have to make a supplementary report. And in a supplementary report, you are going to point the mistakes that you are correcting from the original report.
So it's not consistent with procedure just to correct the report in the document and put in a replacement page.
No, it's not.
And apart from anything else, doing that, it gives incorrectly backdates your replacement to 24 May 2024 because it doesn't flag the fact that your replacement page is put in at a date after 24 May 2024.
Yes.
Mr. Chaskalson, it does not appear to me that this is a replacement page. It seems to me that it was signed much later, so they did not swap page 9 for page 17. If you look at the last signature and where it is, it doesn't seem like it's the same page to me.
Commissioner, the last signature.
So if you compare page 9 with page 17,
It's a different. It's the same commissioner, but a different.
if you look at where the signature appears, it's not the
Yes.
same page. So one cannot say you've simply inserted the old page. What they did is when they did the second report, they backdated it.
They
That's what
backdated
it
the
looks
second.
like.
I understand your point, and I fully accept it, Commissioner. Captain, just to put the Commissioner's observation to you, if one compares page 9 with page 17, page 9, which is the signature, the Commissioner's signature on the first report,
Okay, page 9, yes.
with page 16, one sees that firstly, the signatures are slightly different. So in the signature at page 9, it says Masha, and I can't read the second word, the third one seems to be Samuel.
Kwena, I think it's Masha.
Kwena Samuel.
Yes.
Masha Kwena Samuel. If we look at the signature on page 17, it's Masha KWS.
That's correct, I see.
So these are two different affidavits, and the one in the second report appears to have been backdated to 24 May 2024.
Yes, I think this is a good observation. We didn't see it.
Mr. Chaskalson, perhaps it's also fair to put to you, Captain, that having noted that the signatures are different, it's also possible, until Captain Mkhatshwa explains, that he just reprinted that last page and went to a commissioner. So instead of backdating, he may well have reprinted from his old report and then went and got the commissioner to commission.
Yeah, no,
There's
it's
that
possible.
possibility.
That's a possibility, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Chair, I see we've reached 1 o'clock. It may be a convenient time to break now.
Seeing that we started late, how much longer do you think the witness is going to be? If not too long, we could sit until the witness is done.
I don't think we're going to be more than another hour, but we won't be. It's not 5 or 10 minutes. It's.
Let us adjourn and resume at 2 o'clock.
Thank you, Chair. Paragraph 4 now refer are different. So if one goes to page 42 and looks at the signature of Warrant Officer Mkhatshwa on page 42, that's not the same signature. It's a new signature when one compares that with page 16. And if one goes to the Commissioner's signature on page 43, that also is a different signature to the one that we see at page 17. Will you confirm that?
I confirm, Commissioner. I confirm, Commissioner.
And yet, the third affidavit again is backdated to 24 May 2024.
That's correct, Commissioner. That's correct, Commissioner.
Now, you've earlier testified that the correct procedure, if Captain Mkhatshwa wanted to remedy the error in his first two affidavits in the reference to the case file in paragraph 4, was to prepare a supplementary affidavit.
That's correct. That's correct.
I want to put to you that the problem about not doing a supplementary affidavit is twofold. The first is it looks like there never was an error because one has backdated the third affidavit to 24 May. So it looks like this has been what he's saying. He has said all along. What's your comment on that? Do you have a comment on that?
Would it not be accurate that if the reader has only the latest version of the latest?
That is correct.
Yes.
That is correct.
Yes.
That is correct. Obviously, if the reader has all three versions, the reader would see that this is a work in progress. But the second error is that the whole point about a supplementary is to highlight that there was a mistake and that you have corrected it.
That's correct.
If you do this version of rewriting your affidavit and backdating it to the date of the original affidavit, you are concealing the fact that you made a mistake and have now corrected it to the reader who only has this document.
Yes, Commissioners, because at the end of the day, that report that you have rectified needs to go to the IO. So if you rectify using the backdated one and you don't give it to the IO, it is going to expose you. Because the IO will be having an affidavit or a report that will have mistakes that we have corrected on the affidavit that we're having on the file.
And which affidavit is the affidavit likely to go to court?
The affidavit that is going to court is the affidavit that has been collected already by the IO. So that affidavit is going to court with its mistakes, but then the mistakes that we have corrected is in the file. The correction, the right report is in the file.
There's one last issue I want to deal with in relation to these successive reports, which is that if one goes back to the review reports, paragraphs MQM 7 and MQM 8, pages 48 and 50, for recertification. No, sorry. If you submit a report to the reviewer, the reviewer says correct these errors. The reviewer says correct these errors. And you then take it away and hand over the report to the investigating officer without sending it back to the reviewer. Sorry, so assume that scenario, which is what appears to have happened here. If you wanted to sabotage the report, you could make all sorts of changes from the copy that you gave to the reviewer in the first instance, and hand an amended report to the IO.
Yeah, that is possible, Commissioner. Because when the reviewer gave you the case file and said, go and rectify one, you have to go and rectify. After rectifying, you must take it back to that reviewer. That reviewer is responsible to take the case file to IBS or to the archives and to take that report to case admin for disposal. So if it goes back to the examiner and the examiner rectify and then take it to the IO, then the reviewer now don't know as to whether the report was rectified or not. Even if you have made some changes, the reviewer will not know. Because you have made some changes. Even if you have made the reviewer will not know, because the affidavit or the report was not brought back to him or her.
In other words, what's happened here is that a document has gone out to the investigating officer without apparently passing through the hands of the reviewer in its final form before it went to the investigating officer.
Yeah, it looks like that because when I listened, I hear that the IO got the report from the examiner. So it's possible.
Can we then go back to your statement?
Just Councillor, before you do that, you've cross-referenced signatures, and I think it's important that we get to the heart of what it is you're suggesting. You've cross-referenced Captain Mkhatshwa's signature at page 42 and the one at page 16. Which are different reports, and you've said in one of them that's a new signature. I think you said the one at page 16 is a different signature. What is the big point that you're making? Are you suggesting it's not him that signed? Are you suggesting he sought to mislead with that signature? I think it does need to be clarified.
No, Chair. I think it's the point that I'm not suggesting that this isn't the signature of Warrant Officer Mkhatshwa. It's the point that Commissioner Kumana made earlier, which is this is not that a replacement page was printed out. It's that a full copy of the amended document appears to have been printed out with the same backdated date of 24 May and then signed afresh at a third.
I understand. I just thought it needed to be clarified. Thank you. Sufficiently clear. Thank you.
Captain, we've taken a long detour before getting to your report. But we're getting there now. So if you can go back to page 3 of your statement. And you'll recall earlier that you testified that you got this request on 3 June to compare the Bramley ballistics specimens with specimens, 5 other cases that we've called Case 2, Case 3, the Pretoria West case, Case 5, Case 2, the Littleton case, the Pretoria West case, Case 5, and Case 6. Can you pick up from paragraph 10 of your report, where you describe what you did? Sorry, not of your report, of your statement. Paragraph 10 of your statement.
Commissioners, I have performed, or I can say that I have compared the cases that are stated in my MQM3. I've compared those cases with the Bramley case. And to go through what I've done.
I'll take you to your report in a minute, but just to give a broad outline of what you did, where you did it, and what you found.
I have been asked by one of the sergeants through a request letter to compare the 5 cases stated on my statement.
And where were you stationed at the time?
I was back in Silverton from KZN.
And what test exhibits did you use for your analysis?
The test exhibits are the tests that were performed by Capt Mkhatshwa from the Bramley case.
And if you go to paragraph 12, can you give the Commission a summary of what you concluded with your analysis?
I found that Bramley 149, that was the possession of firearms, is linking with the case docket.
And remember that it referred to case 2, case 5, case 6.
It's linked with 5 case dockets. It's linking firstly with case 2, and it's linking with Littleton, case 157 of 8/2022, and it's linking with Pretoria West, case 447/7/21, and it's linking with case 5, and also it's linking with case 6.
And in paragraphs 12.1 and 12.2, you identify the specific links that you found. Can you tell the Commission what they were?
Paragraph 12.1, an AK-47 with serial number 575363, it is a Russian make, used in a Bramley, was linked with case 2 and Littleton case. My comparative analysis, same rifle previously identified in the Bramley was also used at the case 2 and Littleton crime scenes. So what it means is that the AK-47 that was tested by Capt Mkhatshwa is linking with the crime scene of Littleton and case 2.
And in relation to the 9mm conclusion at paragraph 12.2?
There's a pistol there's a pistol with an obliterated serial number. The make is Taurus. That pistol is the pistol that was tested at Bramley case by Captain Mkhatshwa. And that pistol is linking also with Pretoria West case, and is linking also with case 6. Let me get my notes aside. Yeah. That pistol is linking with case 2, and is linking also with Pretoria West, and is linking with case 5, and is linking with case 6.
And if we go to your report, which is MQM3 from page 18, can I ask you to explain the detailed conclusions that you reach that sets out, I mean, you've just given the summary conclusions, and they are set out in your report from the foot of page 25, paragraph 11, page 8 of 11 of your report. Can you, maybe what would help the commissioners in this regard is if at the top of the page where all of the cases are mentioned, you can explain to the commissioners against each case which cartridges are linked to which case, where that list of 6 cases at the top is, and then you can do your conclusions with reference to that. So which are the cartridges linked to the Bramley case?
Sena Council, I think maybe, is it not proper for me maybe to first explain what is comparison microscope?
Sure.
Yeah. So that
please do, yes.
So that the commissioners can follow. We got an equipment in the laboratory called comparison microscope. Comparison microscope consists of 2 microscopes that are connected together by a prism bridge, where a binocular eye is fitted, and through that binocular eye you can be able to view both specimens simultaneously. And underneath the microscope there are platforms where we place these specimens. These platforms are adjustable. And there's a light that we use for illumination purposes. So we place the exhibits in both platforms, and then you look on the binocular eye, and then if it is positive, what you see on the left must be able to see on the right. If it's negative, what you see on the left, you'll see something different on the left. So that is how the microscope operates. So just to explain the findings that Senior Counsel said I must. In 11.1, but Senior Counsel, I said if maybe the commissioners next to Bramley, they were supposed, maybe they can put, because the exhibits there is 4.1 to 4.12 on Bramley alone. And then on case 2 is 5.1 to 5.2. On Littleton is 6.1. On Pretoria West is 7.1. On case 5 is 8.1 to 8.2. On case 6 is 9.1 to 9.2. That is important for the understanding of these results. So 11.1 says, the cartridge cases mentioned in 4.1 and 4.5, 4.1, 4.5, 4.6, those exhibits on 4.1, 4.5, and 4.6, they are from Bramley case. And then 5.2, that exhibit is from case 2. And 6.1, that exhibit is from Littleton. So what it means is that that AK-47 was used. The AK-47 that was tested by Captain Mkhatshwa was used in case 2 and Littleton. That is the first finding. And when we go to 11.2, here we're dealing with the pistol. So the cartridge cases mentioned in 4.2, 4.7, those ones are from Bramley. 5.1 are from case 2. 7.1 are from Pretoria West. 8.1 are from case 5. 9.1 are from case 6. So what it means that Taurus with an obliterated number was used in case 2, and it was used in Pretoria West, it was used in case 5 and case 6. So that's what it means. These are the 2 firearms that were tested by Captain Mkhatshwa that are linking with the cases mentioned in the report.
And your conclusion in 11.3?
11.3, the cartridge cases mentioned in 6.1, that is Littleton, and case 2 were fired in the 3rd firearm. There, commissioners, Littleton, the only firearm that was used, the firearms that were used there are rifles only. So I'm just showing there that no, there's a link between Littleton and case 5, but the firearm is not recovered.
So in addition to the AK-47 that was seized at Bramley,
Yes,
there was another rifle that was used at Littleton, and is it case 5?
yes, that was not recovered.
And was that also an AK-47?
It's a 7.62 by 39. It's a, I can't say it's an AK-47, but the ammunitions that were used are used by the AK-47. The bullet mentioned in 9.2, 9.2 is case 6, was not fired from the same firearm with bullets mentioned in 4. There I was checking the bullet that I have received at case 6 with the bullet, with the test bullet that were made by Captain Mkhatshwa for Bramley 149, and it's negative. It happens to be like the bullets were not fired in the same firearm.
Thank you very much, Captain. From my side, I don't have further questions for you.
Just one question, based on what was said by Brigadier Mkhabela yesterday. I hope my recollection is correct. In your testimony today, you say that you used the same test, I don't know whether cases or projectiles, but those that were fired by Captain Mkhatshwa, you use them to do your own tests.
Yes, Commissioner, I've used the tests that were made by Captain Mkhatshwa, test of bullets and test of cartridge cases.
All right, thank
Yes.
you. If I understood Captain Mkhabela correctly, he said that to do a proper test, you must fire yourself, that is, fire into the tank and use what you have fired. And he said something like to use someone else's test bullets and test cartridges would not be proper because you aren't quite sure of the circumstances relating to how that other person did the shooting or firing. I hope, again, that my recollection is correct.
Commissioners, what is happening is that when a firearm is brought to the laboratory, the person that is going to be assigned to examine that firearm will test that firearm. And the tests are going to be put on that case file. One of the tests will be sent to IBIS just to be put on the database. But the tests that are on the case file, any comparison with other cases, because the firearm now will be sent back to the station, and then from the station will be sent for destruction. So if an IO said, please compare this case with this firearm, he's not necessarily saying that you must go back and look for that firearm. He's saying that you must compare it with the tests that has been made when the firearm was initially brought to the laboratory. So it is incorrect. It is incorrect what he said, if he did say that.
Also, to be sure that you are comparing apples with apples, you must use the very same bullets and cartridges.
Yes.
That way it...
And would those test cartridges and test bullets still be sitting inside the Bramley forensics file?
That's correct.
And could you find them, without opening that bag, could you
Yes.
find them and possibly show them to the commissioners?
Yes, I can. But now they are mixed with the 15 cartridge cases that were picked on the crime scene.
But just to be clear, my question though related to what the analyst or tester fires into a tank, as I understood Brigadier Mkhabela's case. My question did not relate to what would be picked up, whether at the scene or in this case where the suspects were arrested. So my question related to what is fired for purposes of conducting the test, what is fired into the tank. I'm just clarifying that that's what my question related to. Yes. Thank you, Captain.
Captain, early on in your evidence and in your statement, you describe your role, and this you find in paragraph 3 of your statement. Firstly, what I want to clarify is that description of your role. Is it your role as a senior forensic analyst, or is your role in the PKTT, as a senior forensic analyst in the PKTT?
No, senior forensic analyst is my job title. But I was deployed to go and work in KZN and do the linkages of cases, do crime scenes, do vehicle examination. So those are the role of a senior forensic, actually an analyst.
Okay.
Yes.
So where the description you give in paragraph 3, that's a description of the role of an analyst.
Yes, yes.
All right. Does then that include even the last part in that statement, in that paragraph where you say, I think from the 4th line, right, the extreme right, you say the sentence that starts there, it says, given the technical complexities of ballistics, I also present my reports to investigating officers to explain the findings and guide their inquiries, including the identification of specific firearms that should be sought. And my specific question really is to the part where you say you guide their inquiries. Is that what a forensic analyst does in the normal course, or this is something that you do now that you're within the PKTT because you're part of that team?
Actually there, I think it's just guiding investigations.
Okay. Just unravel that. What does that mean?
It means, say for instance, a crime has been committed and then a person was shot with a 9mm shot. It is our duty to explain to the IO that what you are looking for is a 9mm shot, not a 9mm pistol, not a rifle. Because the police will come and bring all these firearms, they say compare. But if you said, for this case, the person was killed with a 9mm shot, then the person knows exactly what kind of a firearm he's looking for. Yes.
And that's a role, that's a function you perform in the normal course?
Yes.
Okay. And then lastly from me, you said further on that the analysis that you did, the final one in April 2025, you did that in Pretoria. You are now back at your station in Pretoria.
That's correct.
Does that mean you are now back in Pretoria, or this was just for this specific assignment? And
No,
I asked the question because because of the directive that the PKTT should be dissolved, the minister's directive, and I want to understand whether is that why you are back in the laboratory, or this is just for this assignment?
Okay, let me put it this way, commissioners. PKTT is not dissolved, but some members of the PKTT were sent home. Like the ballistics, in crime intelligence, the LCRC, the members who are left at PKTT as we speak is the detectives and the combat. Because the combat is there to protect the detectives when they go to court. Although even ourselves, from time to time, I fly to Durban to attend cases. But I am back for now.
Now, given the function or the role that you were playing in the PKTT when you were assigned to the PKTT, now that you are out of that, you've been sent home, what do you say, or what would you say is the consequence of it on the work of the PKTT? What do they now lack, which they had while you were there on a full-time basis?
PKTT lack now, I think, the turnaround time of the investigating the case. They were having everything in the palm of their hands. When they arrest a person with a firearm, they send it to ballistics. We are going to produce a report within a day or two. They need LCRC to go and collect the specimens. Same day, the case in ballistics. They needed crime intelligence to get evidence or information. And they needed, I think there's cell phone analysts also to do, if the cell phone is, they confiscate the cell phone, download the cell phone. And they need also, the analyst. So now they are no longer going to process things very fast to be effective as they used to be effective, because part of the disciplines are no longer part of them.
Thank you, Captain. Thank you.
Just to pick up on the Commissioner's question, assume the PKTT now sees a firearm. What's going to happen in terms of the ballistics examination process? They want to know, is this firearm linked to any of our matters? How will they proceed now?
When they're now, meaning that they'll just have to take the firearm and send it to Amazimdot and wait for the report. And that can take time, but they can ask that please prioritize this firearm. But then they will be asking, because there will be no people who are designated to do that firearm and give them a report at the same time.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just have one question. I'm looking at Brigadier Mkhabela's statement. You may not have it with you, so I'm going to read a section where he deals with how a ballistic analysis is conducted, just so that I understand what your role was in this process. In 24.5, he says the assigned analyst will complete and sign the comparison microscope results form to document the findings/results from the comparison microscope. And then in 24.6, so I'm trying to understand if what you do is what is set out in 26.5, 24.5, or 24.6. This is what he says in 24.6. An independent analyst will also conduct an independent microscopic verification on the same samples and exhibits. The independent analyst will then complete and sign a comparison microscope verification results form. Is that more or less what you did, or is it something different?
Yeah, it's more or less what I did in this case.
Yes, because I didn't want to confuse that with what the earlier analyst does, so I just needed to be clear that what you do is more or less the independent microscopic verification.
Yes. Commissioners, because I was the one who was analyzing or was doing a microscopic comparison, I have compared. After comparing, then I have signed the form that the brigadier is saying it must be signed. But then after that, there must be an independent person whom I'm going to give the very same file and say, no, go and do verification examination on this. So that person, if what I've done, say for instance, I said I got positive, he must come with positive. So if I said, okay, what I've done, maybe there's negative, he must come to that very same conclusion. And our results or our findings, even an independent experts from outside ballistics must come to the very same conclusion. And it happens time and again, especially in KZN, they used to challenge us and said, no, we need the case file. We have our own ballistics expert. We are going to give it to them, but we are not just going to give it the file to them. We will be with them. Then to go, they will have their own mic, and then they are going to do a microscopic examination. They must come to the very same conclusion.
They being the accused persons?
No,
who are they that are asking for
their
own?
The defense usually have their own ballistics expert. Yes. So that person, when he's given the very same file, that person must come to the same conclusion that we came to. Yes.
Thank you very much, Captain.
Thank you, Chair. We don't have a further witness today. This is the end of this little ballistics chapter. Tomorrow's witnesses will deal with the arrest of Mr. Molefe.
Thank you. Let's adjourn until 9:30 tomorrow.